Welcome to the Florence Studio. I'm Laura Thompson, founder of the Florence Studio, which is an Academy of Fine Arts here in the historic center of Florence, Italy. We found over the years that the same myths and questions arise so very frequently with our students that we thought perhaps it would be helpful to many of you to have some questions answered, some helpful hints, and some of the myths and misconceptions dispelled. So we've started this little video series. Today's quick lesson will be black. How often have you heard that you should not have black on your palette? This is actually a widely held myth that today we're going to challenge. Black was used by many of the great masters, the old masters, which would include, for example, Zorn, Rembrandt, Vermeer, Caravaggio, Rubens, Sargent, Degas, anyway, so many more. And they used it very effectively because they understood its inherent characteristics. So today we will focus on Ivory Black, and to begin with, I want to show you my version of a color wheel, where you will notice that I have included black, but I have placed it right next to the blue. This is because we must think of Ivory Black as just being a very dark blue. If we mix Ivory Black with white, it becomes clear that its inherent color family, that is its hue, the general color family to which it belongs, is actually blue, because we can see here on this chart that it produces a coolish blue-gray, as opposed to our other darks, like burnt umber, which is actually very orange in tone, and raw umber, which when mixed with white becomes actually quite a warm olivey greenish gray. Let's do another little test though, just to prove this concept. Let's take Ivory Black and mix it now with cadmium yellow pale. Notice how it makes a really lovely green, and yet no blue was added to this mix at all. Black in this case has acted as a blue, and with the addition of the yellow, it has produced green. So the reason that many may feel black is such a dangerous color to have on your palette is because it may not always be the automatically best choice for darkening a value. Value meaning, of course, how dark or light a color is. As an example, if you want to darken the shadow side of an orange in most light situations, you'll soon realize that black creates a green-toned shadow. When it comes into contact with the orange paint has contained yellow, and when black is added, it becomes green. So perhaps a better choice to darken that orange on the shadow side would be maybe burnt umber, our darkest orange, or maybe burnt umber plus just a little of our crimson or red instead of reaching for black to automatically darken the value. Now, while it is true that we can actually make a version of black by mixing other colors, and often we do, for example, burnt umber and ultramarine blue, or raw umber and ultramarine blue. These make lovely dark values, and we can adjust the color temperature a little bit. But Ivory Black can be very useful in certain situations. If I'm painting an orange, sure, it may be a poor choice. But if I'm painting a silver metal pot in cool light, or a shiny patent black leather shoe, I may not want my highlights to be orangey or greenish gray, as it would be with raw umber or with burnt umber in the orange case. And so for these examples, a cooler bluish gray highlight is easily achieved with Ivory Black and white. Now, titanium white also acts as a blue, and you can see that I've added the color to the opposite side of the blue on our color wheel. But that's another lesson. And we look forward to seeing you next time on Tips, Tricks, and Techniques at the Florence Studio, when we will discuss how to use white and when not to. Happy painting, everyone.